Continuing from the previous episode 1530. Crash. The group slowly came to the pavilion, and immediately looked at the 5 powerhouses in front of them, and the 3 powerhouses, mainly the Black Corpse King, said respectfully. These powerhouses in front of them are all heads and faces in the 4 courtyards, and they are even more peculiar geese. They are all human bodies, without any soul body. Even if they are the masters of their planes, they should be called respectfully. What they didn't expect was that the receiver who accepted the disciple this time actually sent these 5 powerhouses. These 5 powerhouses, even with the experience of the heavenly Pluto Black Corpse King and the 3-faced ghost, only know 1 or 2 of them. As for the other powerhouses, their strength and status are even more powerful. Such a lineup can be described as a bit appalling. What a huge lineup! Xiao Yan murmured slightly in his heart, but when his eyes saw Du Qifei, he trembled abruptly, and then saw the dodging gaze in Duan Qifei's eyes, also understand something. Big brother, these guys are very strong. Xiao Gui frowned at Xiao Yan and said, it seems that among the 5 people, the guy wrapped in armor turned out to be frightening to Xiao Gui. Don't worry, I'm here. Xiao Yan naturally had a panoramic view of this extremely subtle scene, but Xiao Yan knew in his heart that the so-called Li Soul Guard, the personal guard of the so-called Li Soul Lord, might be the same. Xiao Gui's life experiences inextricably linked. Finally here, after a short while, watching the 3 of the Black Corpse Kings slowly come towards the pavilion, the 5 strong men in the pavilion suddenly cast their gazes towards them, and where their gazes gathered, unexpectedly it was Du Qifei's body. This girl, is that the legendary reincarnator? The 5 people just saw Du Qifei, and their hearts were shocked, but they didn't show it, just smiled. Obviously before they came here, that is, he has already obtained Du Qifei's identity as a reincarnation person, but he does not know that she is the reincarnation of the Thunderlord, otherwise this Du Qifei will become a real hot potato. After all, even if the secrecy methods of the people in heaven and Pluto are well done, they cannot escape the intelligence of these 4 major courtyards. 5 adults, the Black Corpse General Black Corpse King. This person is the Black Corpse General in our Black Corpse room, and is already the strength of the 4-star fighting immortal in the initial stage. With the strength of 1 person, he will kill all the other contestants, regardless of strength. It's still the best choice to join the Court of Adjudication. The Black Corpse King Pei Xiao explained. Hearing the Black Corpse King's explanation, Yuan Xiao of the Judgment Court nodded slightly and smiled, but his gaze was still fixed on the girl quietly standing in the crowd. These guys, why? The next moment, Sanmi and Gime also noticed that the eyes of these 5 powerhouses were not right, and immediately followed their eyes, and immediately found that their eyes were facing Du Qifei. I might have to leave. Duan Qifei seemed to have expected this scene long ago, without any panic at all, but her eyes slowly stared at Xiao Yan and smiled sweetly. Take care of yourself. If you need anything, just speak up. I will spend a lot of time in the Earth Spirit Academy. Xiao Yan was silent for a while, and then said, there was a parting meaning in his voice. Next time we meet again, I'll be better than you. Duan Qifei also smiled slowly, and then slowly walked over to the armored soul guard Li. Let's go, senior. The understated voice seemed to be filled with a girl's free and easy, and a trace of reluctance. Say goodbye today. Don't know when we will see each other again. Li Hunwei didn't interfere too much. On his body, black lines of strange power appeared, so he gently entangled himself in Duo Qifei's body, and then waved his hand. The space collapsed instantly. 2 at the same time, people stepped directly into it and disappeared. Big brother, are you all right? Seeing Duo Qifei leave like this, Xiao Yan also felt a trace of sadness in his heart, but it was just a nostalgia for his partner and had no other meaning. This Duo Qifei seems to have something to do with the Lord of Soul Li, so he can send Commander Li's Soul Guard to come and lead him. With the disappearance of Duo Qifei, the Lord of Soul Leader also muttered abruptly to himself. This kind of thing really can't escape the eyes of the Lord of the Soul. That's all. After a while, the other 4 strong men also looked at each other, and then said, since the matter has come to this, let's start selecting disciples. I see that among these disciples, there are also some people with extraordinary talents. At this time, Zhou Qi also said, let's start. This time, let us come first. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Zhang from the Soul Court walked up slowly. This guy has such a tyrannical soul power, and his soul power is probably the most tyrannical among these people. Xiao Yan's group consisted of 12 people, lined up, and Zhang Zong's eyes blurred slowly from them. He walked in front of him, walked back and forth, and immediately returned to his original position. Little fellows, I'm Zhang Zhang from the Soul Academy. In our Soul Academy, we major in soul power and assist the Master of Li Soul to study some soul techniques. Join us, and our future achievements will be limitless. Zhang Zhang stared at everyone, spoke slowly, with a trace of calmness in their voices. Can I join you? After a while, the 12 did not move, but the woman who followed the three-faced ghost slowly opened her mouth with fiery eyes. Okay, what do you guys think? Seeing the easy acceptance of a female disciple, Zhang Zhang smiled slowly. Although their soul courtyard is slanted, it also has unlimited potential. However, every time it absorbs fresh blood in the past, there are hardly any strong people to join. Should be gone, just be content. After a while, seeing that the remaining 11 people didn't make a sound, the old ghost of Earth Spirit walked up and said. Alas! Zhang Zhang glanced helplessly, then took the woman aside. I am the old ghost of the Earth Spirit Academy. If you are interested, you can join us. Here, you will get the best teaching, the best experience, and if you have enough opportunities in the future, you can also become the right arm of the Lord of Souls. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit said rather lazily, after all this time the purpose is only for reincarnations. As for these disciples, they are not very interested, but they still open their mouths in order to walk through the process. I joined the Earth Spirit Academy. I'll join too. Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui's voices rang out as the voice of the old Earth Spirit fell. Oh, you two little fellows seem to be very interesting. For some unknown reason, a tremor emerged from Xiao Yan's body when the old ghost of the Earth Spirit stared at him like this. Since the two of them are willing to join your Earth Spirit Academy, why don't you bring them back soon, the Earth Spirit old ghost? After Shunshi, Yuan Shao snorted coldly. If that's the case, then let's take a step forward. The old ghost of Earth Spirit didn't bother to stay here any longer. Land, Earth Spirit Academy. I hope these two little guys can shine. Seeing Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui joining the Earth Spirit Academy, the two kings of heaven and Hades also laughed slowly. Wait, what kind of fluctuation is that? Holy flame? Well, you are an old ghost of the Earth Spirit, deliberately mad at me. In an instant, in the void where the three old ghosts of the Earth Spirit disappeared, a rare earth-colored fluctuation appeared. In this fluctuation, there was a frightening feeling. The power is the holy flame. In Li Soul domain, because of its detached status, there is no too tyrannical imprisonment, so whether it is human or ghost soul, there is not much difference. As long as there is enough strength, it is able to be in the strong. The cloud region has its own place. Continuing from the previous episode 1531. Crash. After a while, Xiao Yan and the two just reacted when they appeared in a group of mountains. In the mountains, surrounded by lush vegetation, a vibrant aura flooded in, and even the suppressed wood-type bucket core in Xiao Yan's body erupted with a rather greedy wave. This lord. Xiao Yan looked at the Xiao Gui beside him who was still sleeping, barely opened his eyes, then looked at the white-haired old man beside him, and said, he just remembered that because of the strong spatial fluctuation, he let them. The two were temporarily unconscious. When this old ghost of the Earth Spirit was exploring their bodies, Xiao Yan's holy flame was discovered by this guy, so that in the end, this old man actually motivated the holy flame in his body, the purpose of which was probably to anger that Zhou Qi. Awake, the old man lay lazily on the stone, and when he heard Xiao Yan's voice, he immediately sat up. Do you know where this place is? Asked the old ghost of Earth Spirit. I don't know, Xiao Yan said. This is the Earth Spirit Mountains. And the Earth Spirit Academy, where we live and practice, stands in a realm at the top of the mountain. After a while, the Earth Spirit old ghost said, his eyes slowly staring at the top of the mountains, where the mountain above the top, clouds and mists lingered, and even a trace of the strong breath permeated out. Earth Spirit Academy is actually in the void on the top of the mountain? Xiao Yan heard the words, and immediately turned his eyes to look around, only to see almost continuous mountains and huge mountain ranges. Earth Spirit Mountains, this is a place where the energy of heaven and earth is extremely strong. At the same time, because the Earth Spirit Academy serves the entire Lishan realm, there are an endless stream of creatures coming to climb the mountain every day. The road to climb is full of twists and turns, but if you successfully climb the mountain and enter the Earth Spiritual Academy, you will be able to immediately gain some appreciation from the teachings, and maybe you will be able to join it. And the Earth Spirit Academy is located in a void on the top of the Earth Spirit mountain range. It is a realm opened up by the 7-star Do Xian powerhouse alone. The realm is vast and boundless, with many cultivation resources and trials. The land is also the endpoint for you this time. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit said slowly. Let's go. The guy who entered the Earth Spirit Academy naturally doesn't need to climb. As soon as he finished speaking, with a wave of his hand, he directly wrapped Xiaoyan and Xiaogui's bodies, turned into a beam of light, and suddenly moved towards the Earth Spirit Mountains. Top of the realm away. Crackling. As Xiaoyan and the others just disappeared, a man with a withered complexion slowly emerged from the place where Xiaoyan and the others had stayed. I'm afraid these guys are the powerhouses of the Earth Spirit Academy. They are really tyrannical fluctuations, but I believe that I will be able to successfully climb the mountain range and enter the Earth Spirit Academy. Go to the top of the mountain. This man is weak, but he also possesses the strength of a 3-star fighting immortal. In addition to his thin body, it is quite worrying whether this guy can succeed in the end. The Diling Mountains are surrounded by mountains, and the trails between the mountains are dazzling. There are people entering everywhere, and all of them are heading towards the top of the Diling Mountains. It is said that the top of the Diling Mountains has the entrance to the Diling Courtyard. They almost came from the lower realm, and were not directly introduced by the Master of the Plane, so they could only use this most primitive method to try to join the Earth Spirit Academy. And just as Xiaoyan and the others were heading towards the boundary of the Earth Spirit Academy, there was an ethereal space in the center of Li Sol domain, in the shrine of the Lord of Li Sol. Lord, the person you named has brought it back to you. After a while, in a simple hall, Li Hunwei, who was wriggling in the void and wrapped in the texture of the armor, slowly opened his mouth, facing the black body hidden in front of him. The man under the robe respectfully said, "This man, the insipid fluctuations on his body made the whole world eclipsed. This guy is the overlord of Li Sol territory today, the Lord of Li Sol. Let's go down." The master of the black robe Li Sol opened his mouth slightly, and suddenly, under the black robe, a palm surrounded by countless black lines slowly stretched out and swayed. Yes! As soon as he finished speaking, Li Hunwei also slowly left, leaving only Duo Qifei and the master of Li Hun. Feier. In an instant, Master Li took off the black robe, revealing a somewhat illusory body, and immediately said to Du Qifei. Duo Qifei seemed to have known it for a long time, and immediately shook his head slightly. Feier, this is your home. You don't have to be restrained. After the Lord Li Hun finished speaking, he was overjoyed immediately, because with his strength close to the peak, he could easily detect the reincarnation pattern on Du Qifei's forehead. The power emanating from the reincarnation pattern is more powerful than ordinary reincarnation, and there are countless thunderous sounds faintly, so it is natural to know that this is the reincarnation of the Thunder Master. I'm sorry for your mother, but this time, I will protect you from others. And soon, Li Hunyu will be completely handed over to you, which can be regarded as a kind of compensation for your mother. After hesitating for a while, Lord Li Hunyu spoke slowly. No, I just want to stay here quietly. Unless I have to, I won't take action. Duan Qifei Day's eyes slowly flickered, and he said, obviously, there are some fluctuations in the origin of the Master of Li Sol and his mother. I think they are also related by blood, and this kind of thing. Duo Qifei has also been inspired by the power of reincarnation in advance, and he knows from it, so he also treats his father. She kept it a secret, because she didn't want Duan Tianeng to worry. At the beginning of the chaos in Li Hunyu, your mother took advantage of the chaos and ran out. After I put Li Hunyu to rest, I couldn't find her. It wasn't until she fell decades ago that she left a trace of your breath, and I didn't realize it. Li Hun said sadly, needless to say, I know. Duo Qifei shook his head slowly, but he didn't want to listen to these words, so he shook his head and said, after all, how could the master of the strong soul domain give up the entire region for his mother? Then I'm leaving. As soon as the voice fell, in the hall, the body of Lord Li's soul suddenly disappeared, leaving only Du Qifei alone. At this moment, Du Qifei stood slightly, her eyes flickered, and the reincarnation pattern at the center of her eyebrows exuded a majestic aura. Lord Thunder, Why don't you want to wake up with such a tyrannical power and regain control? Reincarnator. Even if you give me all of these powers, I'm afraid I won't become the Zeon of the Great Thousand World, because I just want to be an ordinary woman, have someone you like, and set up a small family. There was a hint of desolation in the voice, which instantly reverberated throughout the hall. Duo Chife knows that as a reincarnator, she possesses all the power of the Thunderlord, but the power of the Thunderlord resides in the reincarnation. This power, and what surprised Du Chife the most was that the source of the Thunderlord hidden in the reincarnation seemed to have some disgust for Xiaoyan and Xiaogui from the bottom of his heart. The Xiao clan are in conflict with each other. In an instant, the source of the Thunderlord in the reincarnation seemed to be provoked, and a violent and murderous aura emerged. When Duo Chife saw this, she also slowly shook her head, but she knew that with the awakening of the power of reincarnation, her power would also rise steadily, and even the memories of the Thunderlord would slowly pour into her mind. It's just that after the success of this reincarnation, whether she is the Thunderlord or Du Chife, I am afraid she does not know, and the origin of the Thunderlord living in the reincarnation also indicates that the peak powerhouse of the Great Thousand World, perhaps will be reborn. Starter. Continuing from the previous episode 1532. Wang buzzing. After a few hours, Xiaogui woke up, and Xiaoyan, under the control of the tyrannical space of the old ghost of the Earth Spirit, slowly came to the boundary of the Earth Spirit Institute. This is the Earth Spirit Academy? Is this too huge? Xiaoyan couldn't help but be surprised when he saw this, because what is the realm that is reflected in front of Xiaoyan at this time, and the area of this realm is probably larger than the 4 continents of Yinhushan. Area is huge. In front of him was an incomparably gigantic city. There were various buildings in the city, and there was an endless stream of people. In addition to the countless desolate atmospheres and endless land outside the city, it was a vast area that was prohibitive. It's a bit familiar. Xiaogui frowned, then looked around. For some reason, he always felt that he had been here before, but every time he thought about the specific reason, a burst of thoughts would come out of his mind. The severe pain caused Xiaogui to give up temporarily. 2 little guys, welcome you to join the big family of Earth Spirit Academy. This is the interior of the Earth Spirit Academy. The overall area of the Earth Spirit Academy may be larger than that of Yinhushan, but this is a realm that was torn apart by the Master of the Soul, and it is more stable than the ordinary plane continent. And in the Earth Spirit Academy, there are also many vassal forces. They are headed by our Earth Spirit Academy. The Earth Spirit Old Ghost smiled slowly. When the 2 heard the words, they were suddenly dumbfounded, but in front of the 2, they suddenly appeared in a city. The area of this city is extremely large, and I am afraid it covers an area of 100 kilometers. In the city, there are countless tyrannical breaths. Emerging, obviously shows that the number of strong people in the city is extremely large. Headmaster, you're back. After a short while, the space under the ground in front of the old ghost and the 3 of them wriggled, and a male figure slowly appeared, and said politely, "What a tyrannical guy, this strength, I am afraid it has reached the level of a 4-star fighting immortal." Xiaoyan looked at the man in front of him, secretly surprised. Take them down to rest. In addition, inform a few headmasters that we need to hold a meeting in the Spiritual Academy. As soon as the voice fell, the old ghost of Earth Spirit said lazily, "Spiritual Court?" Xiaoyan heard the words and immediately asked in confusion. "This junior brother, I am Qin Jun from the Lingyuan Institute, ranked 4th, you can call me senior brother." You don't know, the Earth Spirit Court is divided into the Earth Court and the Spirit Court too. Among the second court, the Earth Court has the most attractive strength and resources, but if you want to join it, you have to pay a lot of money. Lingyuan is next, Qin Jun said with a smile. Although Xiaoyan is only in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, it must be unusual for a guy to be so carefully instructed by the old ghost of the Earth Spirit. The Earth Court and the Spirit Court. I don't know what's the difference between the 2. Xiaoyan and Xiaogui nodded slowly. In the courtyard, most of the strong people live, and they manage many strong people who send talents to the lower realm and the shrine of the Lord of Souls. Most of the spiritual courtyards are fresh blood that has just joined the spiritual courtyard. Only those whose strength has undergone transformation can they be qualified to join the Earth Court. However, if you join the court, you will undoubtedly step into the door of the strong. After all, The strong who can join the court will be able to sit on the master of the plane sooner or later, and master the power of the dazzling plane, which will last forever. Qin Jun said with a smile, but the power of the plane seems to be quite attractive. Take them down to rest. As for the reward you won on the Sky of Shadows, I will give it to you tomorrow. As soon as the voice fell, the body of the old ghost disappeared directly here, heading towards the center of the city. 2 junior brothers, come with me. Qin Jun also laughed when he saw the whereabouts of the old ghost master, and then took Xiao Yan and the two. The space under his feet squirmed, and after a while, they were successfully settled. In the city. This city is the base of the Earth Spirit Academy. It is heavily defended, and the garrison of the strongest people in the city is also staggering. As for other auctions, mercenary meetings, etc., it is also a must. It is complete, and in its city, there are countless vassal people, who are obviously living under the protection of the Lingyuan. In addition, it is the powers on the vast land in the realm of the Earth Spirit Academy. Although these forces are not as strong as the Earth Academy and the Spirit Academy, they are also slowly growing under the protection of the Earth Spirit Academy. Is the solid back under the Earth Spirit Court? At this moment, in a hall in the center of the city, 3 men slowly appeared and sat around the wooden table. The auras of these 3 people were actually the same as those of the poisonous demon empress, but the strange thing was that these 3 men were very impressive. It is a human body, not a soul body. Although the Li Soul domain is divided into 5 major courtyards, among the 5 major courtyards, the original ghosts of the ghost world will try their best to cultivate human bodies. It is the soul domain of the highest ruling class in the ghost world, and it is also dominated by humans. However, even if ghosts cultivated human bodies, as ghosts, they are still unable to devour the power of the most masculine holy flame. Earth Spirit Old Ghost, you can be counted back. I don't know what kind of disciples we brought to our spiritual academy this time. In the hall, the 3 middle-aged men smiled slowly, and there was a hint of relief in their voices. The 3 men are the 3 generals in the spiritual academy today. New 81 Chinese website updates the fastest computer. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit. It is said that thousands of years ago, he had reached the perfect strength of the 6-star fighting immortal, and he had a free and easy nature. He hardly taught his disciples. Unlimited. Luo Zamu, this guy is said to be a peak powerhouse of the wood attribute. He once used his own strength to forcibly kill the Emperor-level aliens from outside the territory. Therefore, his reputation is quite high in the spiritual academy. Zhang Wen, this guy's strength is not well known, but his strength is vaguely suppressing the 2, and his teaching methods are quite special. Except for the director and vice president of the spiritual academy who can stabilize him, other strong people are not as good as he. After all, they are divided into 2 courtyards in the spiritual courtyard. In the second courtyard, every time they select disciples, the underground courtyard occupies the majority, which makes the situation of their spiritual courtyard quite bad. And now it is their turn to absorb new students. Blood, they naturally pay special attention. Forget it, that little girl of the reincarnation was actually discovered by the Lord of Li Soul, which caused the powerhouse of our 4 courtyards to run away this time. The old ghost of Earth Spirit couldn't help rolling his eyes. Oh, it seems that it's really just like what the Dean said. It can't escape the perception of the Master of the Soul. But the Lord of Souls has been stuck in that shackle for too long. I don't know if I can break through. Zhang Wen smiled. New 81 Chinese website updates the fastest mobile terminal. HTTPS skeptical smiley face. However, the 2 guys who joined our spiritual academy this time, although they are only in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortal and the 3-star fighting immortal consummation, but one of the little guys has the existence of holy flame. The ghost's eyes slowly became hot, and an extremely tyrannical wave suddenly emerged from the corner of his mouth. What? Have holy flames? Hearing the old ghost of Earth Spirit say so lightly, Luo Zamu and Zhang Wen slammed the table and stood up suddenly. A surprise flooded into their hearts. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 1533. Among the 2 fresh bloods this time, someone has a holy flame? Is this true? Zhang Wen's expression suddenly became strange, and he said solemnly. Exactly. That guy in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, named Xiao Yan, seems to have the Fireheart Tianyan ranked 35th. And when I was selecting disciples in the 4 great courts, I deliberately released the aura of holy flame to let other powerhouses notice. The old ghost of Earth Spirit laughed. What you're doing is really good. Ha ha ha. Zhang Wen laughed immediately after listening to the old ghost of Earth Spirit acting like this. There is holy flame in the fresh blood. This news is known by the powerhouses of the other 3 courtyards, and they will definitely hold on to it. If it is known by the Master of the Soul, I am afraid that this guy is in danger. How can this be a good thing? Rizamu seemed quite puzzled and asked. Lao Luo, you don't know something. Although our 4 academies jointly maintain the entire Lishan realm, there are many open and secret fights with each other, and the news of Xiaoyan's possession of holy flame was known by the other 3 academies, and they would definitely not report to the strong in their academies. After all, once this matter is discovered by other powerhouses and attracts the attention of the Lord of the Soul, then the status of our spiritual academy will skyrocket because of the holy flame on this little guy. So even if they know that there is a disciple with holy flame in our Earth Spirit Academy, they can only hold it in their stomachs. Zhang Wen said with a free and easy smile. It seems that this time, God really blesses our spiritual home. A master of the holy flame, his achievements in the future are also limitless, and maybe we can devour other regions under his leadership, and in the ghost realm, only we will exist in the ghost realm. That's seen, but, after speaking, Zhang Wen was also looking forward to it. By the way, that little guy is from Yinhushan. The competition rewards in Yinhushan have not been distributed. I don't know what rewards will be distributed this time. After a while, the old ghost of the Earth Spirit asked. Let them go to Lingshan to practice for a month, and since he is currently in the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, take out a Dushan pill from the pill room and treat it as a rewarding disciple for your master. Zhang Wen laughed as soon as he finished speaking. Then this kid will be taught by me. The old ghost of Earth Spirit also laughed when he heard the words. The so-called Lingshan mountain is full of energy from heaven and earth, and many powerful people have fallen into it during his lifetime. Entering it to cultivate may be able to obtain some great opportunities. By the way, the girl under your door seems to have just entered Lingshan to practice. After a while, Zhang Wen seemed to remember something and asked slowly. Don't mention it. Some time ago, the master of the hospital gave her a marriage, but the girl didn't listen to her life and she went straight to practice in Lingshan, which made me anxious. Luo Zamu couldn't help rolling his eyes when he heard the words. Let's do it today. It's all gone. As soon as the voice fell, the 3 slowly disappeared. The night was silent. The next day, the sun was shining, and a new day was coming. Big brother, early in the morning, Xiaogui came to Xiaoyan's house and knocked on the door. What's wrong? Xiaoyan pushed the door open to let Xiaogui come in, and immediately set up a tyrannical soul barrier, and asked carefully, obviously since Xiaogui entered the spirit courtyard, his mind has not been quite right. Brother, there seems to be a voice in my body guiding me to the so-called underground courtyard. In the courtyard, there seems to be a voice calling me. Xiaogui's eyes were particularly red, and he said solemnly, the Earth Court and the Spirit Court are separated from the north to the south. It takes a lot of time to get to the Earth Court from here, and it also requires a personal letter from the headmaster, so it's quite troublesome. Xiaoyan thought slowly in his heart. But don't worry, eldest brother will definitely help you solve this matter. Looking at the guy in front of him, Xiaoyan suddenly comforted him slowly. Well, thank you eldest brother. After Xiaogui finished speaking, he immediately backed out. Hoo, Lingyuan, it's really a long memory. Watching Xiaogui leave, the voice of the Soul Eater suddenly emerged. Master, it is said that the Chidu Soul Induction Cup is in the Earth Spiritual Academy. Can the master sense any trace of it? Xiaoyan hurriedly asked. Although Xiaoyan didn't know what the purpose of this thing was, it could heal the source of the wounds on Soul Eater's body. Thinking about it, it wouldn't be a mortal thing. It might still be guarded by the strong, so the top priority now is to find it first. Its specific location is being planned. Sensing a little bit, that thing seems to exist in the courtyard. However, there are many strong people in that courtyard. With my current strength, I can't do it hard, I can only outsmart it. After thinking about it, the Lord of Soul Eater said, because at this time, relying on his induction, the land in the courtyard, there is a superpower with the same strength as himself. If he rashly exposes his identity, I am afraid that both himself and Xiaoyan will be in deep danger because of this. The underground courtyard. It seems that this matter can't be rushed. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he also slowly sorted out, then opened the door and walked out. Xiao Yan. As soon as he walked out, he saw the figure of the old ghost coming towards him. Senior? Xiao Yan said slightly when he saw this. Where's Xiao Gui? I'll take you to the reward location today. The old ghost of Earth Spirit said casually, but now his eyes on Xiao Yan are very tame. After all, this guy has holy flame on him. After teaching him, his achievements are limitless. Moreover, the whereabouts of the Lord of Li Soul are quite strange, so the old ghost of the Earth Spirit deliberately released the power of holy flame to Zhou Qi and others, and the purpose was also to protect Xiao Yan. Big brother, what's the matter? Xiao Gui said in a daze. He left Xiao Yan's house before he went back to sleep. Senior. Gently pushing the door open, Xiao Gui suddenly said in surprise when he saw Xiao Yan and the old ghost. Let's go. Senior Earth Spirit will take us to the reward land. Xiao Yan said with a smile. Let's go, two little guys. After a while, the pupil of the old ghost of Earth Spirit also flashed a tinge of pain, but in order not to let Xiao Yan notice anything, he could only reluctantly take out a fighting immortal pill and enter Lingshan. Qualification. Although this kind of qualification is not difficult for the old ghost, but the price of a place is quite expensive. In the area of this spiritual academy, there is no need to fly anymore, and for this kind of 6-star fighting immortal level headmaster, no matter where he goes, it is a matter of waving his hands. Boom! With a slow wave of the old palm of the old ghost, a space channel suddenly appeared. It's a space channel again. Seeing this, Xiao Yan couldn't help frowning. Obviously, in this kind of boundary space, there is no need to move or fly between each other, but using the space channel can easily reach the destination. What are you looking at? Let me in. Seeing Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui frowning, the old Earth Spirit laughed suddenly, then raised his foot and instantly kicked the two in. The trip to Lingshan, you two little fellows, don't disappoint me. After speaking, the figure of the old ghost of the Earth Spirit also entered the space passage. Continuing from the previous episode 1534. Boom! After a short while, Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui suddenly came to a mysterious area surrounded by white mist. This area seems to be in the void, a vast expanse of whiteness, but behind the expanse of whiteness, there is a terrifying energy fluctuation. Where is this? Xiao Gui couldn't help asking, because with Xiao Gui's perception, this place was no longer in the big city of the Lingyuan, but was led by the old ghost of the Earth Spirit to a space. Senior? Xiao Yan's dazzling soul power spread out, but he found nothing, so he could only speak softly. You can just call me old, the old ghost said. After all, the two guys were always taking one bite at the old ghost. They were quite displeased, and immediately said, as for this, it's Lingshan. After a while, Di Lao's figure slowly appeared beside Xiao Yan and the two. Old Di. When the two heard the words, they also spoke happily, but at this time, there were only 3 of them, and the 3 of them were walking on the road, surrounded by white fog that could not see 5 fingers. Let's go to register first, and then you can practice in Lingshan. This Lingshan mountain is a holy place for cultivation. Di Lao's eyes penetrated the endless white fog, looking at the Nuada mountain behind him, and said softly. As soon as the words fell, the old man moved directly in this white fog. Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui looked at each other, and immediately followed. Peeved. After a while, a group of 3 people slowly penetrated the endless white fog and came to the foot of a mountain. There is 1 person and 1 table. The figure is quite lazy, but on that table, there are the 4 treasures of the study. To register. Duan Fan, don't let me be lazy, you brat. In an instant, a sharp breath emerged from Di Lao's body, which immediately cheered the sleepy, lazy figure. Di Lao, why do you have the leisure to come here? The mountain guard named Duan Fan, a 4-star fighting immortal powerhouse, who is responsible for guarding Lingshan all the year round. Every time the disciples of the Lingyuan enter or leave Lingshan, are subject to his registration. After all, although Lingshan is under the protection of the Lingyuan, it is inevitable that some other forces in the realm of the earthly Lingyuan are eyeing it. Therefore, a protective shield can be set up to protect the precious cultivation resources. I brought 2 disciples who just joined to come to Lingshan to practice. Register early and let them in. Di Lao said casually. Yes. 2. Please tell me your strengths and names. If you allow me to register, you can enter Lingshan. Duan didn't dare to be negligent when he heard the words, and smiled directly at the two disciples, Duan's seniority. Although they are taller than the two of them were actually able to bring Di Lao personally, which is enough to show how much their spiritual academy attaches importance to it. After all, the strength of this Di Lao is extremely tyrannical in the spiritual academy, and there are very few disciples under him. To be favored by him, the talent and strength required are naturally considerable. Xiao Yan, the strength in the middle stage of Samsung Do Xian. Xiao Yan nodded lightly when he heard this, and then smiled at him. The middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals? Duan heard the words, his eyes were slowly startled, but he was not too dull. He picked up the pen in his palm and quickly recorded Xiao Yan's information. Xiao Gui, the 3-star battle of immortals is complete. After a while, Xiao Gui also spoke. Old D. It's all right. After a short while, Duan registered the information of the two and smiled. 2 people, this is the first time you have entered Lingshan to cultivate. The only thing you need to pay attention to is that there are many creatures in this Lingshan. These creatures exist because of the splendid energy of Lingshan. Don't be confused by its surface. Yes, Duan said with concern. Yes, the two nodded. Wang Om. At that time, Duan didn't say much. His palm suddenly poked towards the white fog behind him, and suddenly green lines, like a painter, completely removed the white fog, and suddenly, in the center of the white fog, a green door appeared. Go in, if the absorption energy is saturated, then exit. This guy will always be here, don't be brave. Di Lao ordered. Okay. Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui nodded slowly when they heard the words, and then stepped directly into it. It's time for me to go too. Watching the two leave, the old figure disappeared from here. These 2 little guys can be so favored by the old man. It seems that they should have some incredible talents. After all, the old man has extremely ruthless eyes. Duan looked at the 3 who disappeared, and slowed down. He murmured slowly, but on the white paper in his hand, in addition to the names of Xiao Yan and Xiao Gui, and even above them, there was a woman named Luo Menglan, who was full of 3-star fighting spirits. At this time inside Lingshan. Humph. Ancestor Luo is really too much, he actually wants to promise that marriage. If you want me to marry a guy I've never met before, just dream. At this moment, a woman said righteously on the branches of the towering tree. There was a childishness in the woman, which was strange and quirky. General appearance, very cute. However, our Li Hanyu is really not fun at all. We know every day that we should let me practice, and we won't let me go out to play. I heard that it is quite fun in the human world, and we are also drawn from the human world. It would be great if we could return to the human world. The woman sat on the branch with her feet on the branch. Swing back, looking expectant. Peefed. In an instant, before the woman could react, a figure suddenly descended from the sky and fell directly from the woman. Did something fall in front of me just now? The woman's eyes slowly flickered with a look of doubt. When I was leisurely just now, a black shadow seemed to fall down from in front of me, and that black shadow seemed to resemble a person. Will old ancestor Luo send someone to arrest me? But this breath is not right. The breath of the guy below is extremely unfamiliar, and it seems that he has never seen it before. After a while, the woman above the branch wondered. No, go down and have a look. As soon as the voice fell, the woman immediately left the branch. This guy has such a strange aura. This kind of aura seems to have been vaguely seen in the residences of the ancestors of Luo and the old ghosts, the same aura, but this kind of aura is well protected by them. I remember it seems to be some kind of clan pattern. Force. After a short while, the woman came to the ground, but she saw that the man in front of him was a little embarrassed, and even the middle of his eyebrows was wrapped in black lines. The lines were quite mysterious and obscure, making the woman there is a trace of familiarity. After all, this kind of fluctuation, when I was young, I was fortunate enough to see it in the residences of Luo ancestors and the old ghosts of the earth, but this kind of breath was regarded as life by them. Protect. This woman is Luo Menglan from Luo Zhemu's door in Lingyuan, and she is also Luo Zhemu's great-granddaughter. As for the unconscious man in front of him, it was Xiao Gui, not Xiao Yan.